to a very different episode of a Heresy game today. I'm joined by Ollie.
Hello, I'm Ollie, better known to many people as Code Horus.
Yeah, and you're from the Legio Panoptica team, aren't you?
I am, yes. So, for those of you who don't know, Liber Panoptica as a team is designed to add lots of new things to the game. So, fun new units, scenarios, missions, as well as do some minor rebalancing of some issues we spot in the game.
Yeah, so we're actually going to be playing using all the changes today. I'm going to be using Sons of Horus, and you're using Mech, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Yeah, and we've tried to use a few of the units where you can see the changes that Liber Panoptica includes. Now, if you want to look at the entire pack, if you've not seen it before, I'll drop links in the description, not the comments, description below. And also, hopefully, if I'm not inept, I'll leave this in so it's not edited out so you can see how inept I am in the like little notes at the top. But yeah, we're going to be playing one of the missions of that, which is Foothold.
Yep.
And that's basically a table quarters mission where we deploy using Dawn of War format. So it's just that bit of a difference to the, the normal quarters deployment.
Correct, yeah. The whole point of the mission is to force you to have to move forward, whereas normally table quarters, you can spread out around the board and envelop your opponent. This time, you're forced to push into their deployment zone and take those quarters from them.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that at 3,250 points, and we'll go over the army lists now. So I'm going to start off with a Praetor, and that's got a Thunderhammer, Paragon Blade, and I've got Warhawk Jump Pack, but he's not got a Warhawk Jump Pack. He's just running about. So in this, he is going to gain outflank because he's joining a unit of Reavers with outflank, and I'm using the Black Reaving. So basically, any character that joins a unit with outflank gains it as well. And in the Liber Panoptica, Reavers gain outflank. I've then got a Praevian with 4 Castellax with Darkfires, and they have shock charges, just as standard, but in Panoptica they gain Brutal. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you. To you, they're Brutal 2, which sort of just mitigates, I think, that Weapon Skill 3 downside that Castellax really suffer from. Yeah.
Just to add in there as well, I'm really a big fan of putting Brutal onto weapons that maybe aren't going to be instant killing things. So obviously we all know the problem of, Thunderhammers, with forcing high strength, low AP, multiple saves. But in this case, they're hitting you at AP 3 and strength 7. So they're not going to automatically kill what they hit, but it's forcing that repeated save that's going to cause a little bit of interest there.
Yeah. So then, along with that, my Praevian has got a Carnosan Taj. I think I said that right.
I think so.
As well as a Cyber Familiar, just keeping that bit safer. I've then, in my troops, got 2 tactical squads. They've got Artificer on the Sergeant, Rhino with Pintle Multi-Melter. And after that, we're going to get to one of the new units that are introduced in Liber Centuria.
Centuria, yes.
Centuria. So that is the Novitiae squad, which is like sort of the same fluff sort of as the Inducti.
Correct, yeah.
But more of a new unit rather than Inducti are this sort of new people that have gained experience. They're sort of a weird...
Yeah, so if I might jump in here.
Yeah.
Where you might think of the Inducti as being the fresh Marines that have got some basic battlefield experience, they've been given enough training. Before the Inducti were kind of required and that mass indoctrination of them was occurring due to the Heresy itself, it's kind of our personal belief that the Legions would probably have had to take a different approach to getting their new soldiers onto the field. And as part of that, they were probably going to take big hordes of freshly made Marines out and have veteran sergeants directing them and showing them the ropes on the battlefield. As a result, they wouldn't have been particularly good with their leadership, so they're a little bit lower leadership, but you can take much bigger squads of them.
Yeah. So I've got 20 of them in that vein. They've all got bayonets, and the veteran sergeant, who is leadership 8 still, like normal veteran sergeants rather than the 6 of the Novitiae Marines, he has Artificer armor because I really want that leadership sticking around. I've then got 14 Reavers, and these are just going to be running on from outflank because they've gained outflank in Panoptica, as I've said before. They also have 10 power weapons, that's power swords, and that is one of the other slight changes to Reavers. They get 5-point power weapons because Reavers are really overcosted in the new edition.
They have some problems. So,
yeah, so that goes a bit of a way to mitigate that by gaining that rule, as well as the cheaper power weapons. They've also got 4 power fists, as well as Artificer on the Sergeant, like the Sergeant being one of those power fists. Next up, I've got 10 Justarian Terminators with 8 power fists and 2 chain fists, and they're going to be rocking about in a Cestus Assault Ram. Now, the Cestus Assault Ram you might have seen in the Melos prequel video that came out last month, and it's not very good. As
it's a bit sad. Without dumping on it a bit too much, it lost a lot of the things that made it really special in 1.0. Its ability to ram things, its ability to carry lots of bulky Terminators and that kind of thing. And also its weapon got a bit worse for no discernible reason. So we've kind of gone back and looked at that as the Panoptica team and said, can we at least give it a bit of a shine up and make it usable again? And we think we've done that right.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's going to be flying about, hopefully ramming everything as well as carrying those Justarians. Next, in my second Elite's choice, I've got a Veteran Assault Squad, and that's of 10 men with Artificer and a power weapon on the Sergeant.
Yep.
And that's the only upgrades there. Hopefully their chainswords will get them through the rest of it.
Yeah, that's another Centuria unit as well.
Yes. I've then finally, not finally, I've got an Apothecary detachment with 1 Apothecary that's with the Reavers. And now finally, I've got 5 Heavy Support Marines with Volkite Culverins, Augury Scanner, Nuncio Vox, Artificer Armour. And that they've had the slight change of the Volkite Culverin has gone up 5 points to 10 points a model. And I don't think anyone can argue with that, right?
I mean, having seen heavy support squads being complained about frequently with Las Cannons and also with Volkite Culverins, they are phenomenal picks. They are perfect at the jobs they're designed for, but they're a little bit undercosted as a result.
Yeah. So that is the end of my army list. And with that, let's go over to you.
Cool. Yeah. So what I've got is I've got an Archmagos Prime on a Bayant, kitted out with all kinds of wonderful war gear. We've got an Augury Scanner, a Chain Fist, Cyber Familiar, a Photon Gauntlet, which has been mastercrafted, Rad Grenades, and a Machinator Array. I've chosen the Stoic Defender Warlord trait, and they've taken the Cybernetica High Order of Techno Arcana, as well as the Artificia Cybernetica Cybertheurgy powers.
Yes, so that means that's the one where you can do -1 wound when it comes into your
shooting attacks that are coming in and stuff.
Yeah, as well as make you react.
Yes.
Which is a big thing.
For sure, yeah. It's a really, really powerful set of abilities, and it really does make your mech units interact with the game really nicely. Specifically, it's never nice when you're sat there having to take that incoming fire and not able to do anything about it. So giving those reactions out is really helpful.
Yeah. So next, what have you got?
So I've got 2 Magos Dominus, which are placed in Castellax squads. Those have got slightly different war gear loadouts. So the first one has an Augury Scanner, a Cyber Familiar, Power Axe and Las Pistol, and a Machinator Array, and has again chosen Artificia Cybernetica for the same reasons I outlined on my Archmagos Prime. The second Dominus instead has an Augury Scanner, a Cyber Familiar, Power Axe and Las Pistol, and a Melter Gun, foregoing the Machinator Array, and again Artificia Cybernetica. Those 2 are embedded, as I mentioned, into Castellax squads. So the first Castellax squad is the one that has got 3 models in it, with Darkfire Cannons, Power Blade Arrays, and inbuilt Maxima Bolters. Now, those Power Blade Arrays have been tweaked slightly by Panoptica. They're supposed to, in the lore, function like power swords, and yet they're a bit sad when it comes down to it, really. Obviously, going back to 1.0, monstrous creatures having AP2 on all their attacks was just not fair or enjoyable for anybody. But in this case, we've gone for AP3 and breaching instead, just to make them have a little bit more punch. The other unit has got Siege Wreckers. Obviously, then they get 1 Shock Charger as well, a single Maxima Bolter each, and multi-melters. Those guys are designed to be my kind of breaching unit. That's also where one of the other changes from Panoptica comes in. Shock Chargers have gone to Brutal 2, which I think we mentioned earlier. Obviously, that doesn't do a lot when you've already wandered around with a Siege Wrecker, but if you absolutely must strike at initiative, there's your option. Beyond there then, I've also got a Domitar unit, which is just 2 Domitar. I really do enjoy them for wandering around and putting holes in tanks or anything else. I've also got something that doesn't get picked very often at the minute, for a reason I'm about to outline why we've changed it. And that's the Arquita Magisterium. Now, Unfortunately, the units that best benefit from being picked alongside Arcada, you can't actually follow. Basically, you take a unit of Arlatax, they can't keep up because they don't have jump boosters. You take a unit of Vorax, they can't keep up because they have slow movement and no skirmish. So we've added a couple of upgrades via the Liber Ingenium, which is our Mechanicum supplement, that allows them to keep up. And so in this case, I've purchased a Utan jump booster for my Arquita, as well as a Paragon Blade and a Machinator array. And they're joined by 2 Arlatax. Again, a unit that's benefited with slightly improved melee weapons. Beyond that then, I've got a 5-man Myrmidon Secutor host. All of those guys have phase plasma, and they're taking residence currently in a Mechanicum Land Raider, which has had its sponsor-mounted plasma cannons upgraded to Gravis plasma cannons in Panoptica. Finally, I've got 2 Thalax cohorts, 3-man with melter bombs, and to close it all out, 2 Thanatar Kavas as a mana pool.
Okay, so along with that, we've gone over the changes that are in each of our armies. But I think a couple of the key points that we were just talking about before. I'm not going to claim the superior knowledge of this, obviously,
No
and
problem.
say it all myself. But I think the core changes that you're going to see today is tanking on sergeants has to keep going through the sergeant if you first allocated to the sergeant.
Yep, so you start pouring hits onto your Artificer Sergeant, thinking that you're going to tank all 20 incoming artillery shots. Well, if you fail one, you've only got 2 wounds, you're going to have to keep rolling there. That's one of the changes we did implement to prevent people bouncing backward and forward out.
And will that be the same with your Magos that might take it and then go, oh no, my Patria Cybernetica needs to protect me now,
Yes.
and bounce it back on? So it goes through the units.
It works the same way. It's a character, which means that if I start allocating to a character, the same thing applies to me as would apply to your sergeants, yeah. The other thing there as well is that whenever you're rolling to wound against a unit of automata, let's say you've got a haywire weapon that would wound differently against them, and there's a Magos in there as well, it's majority of the unit.
Yeah.
So if you've got 2 automata and 1 Magos, well, you're going to be using haywire there to wound all of them. The second it becomes a 1-1 split, that's when it becomes dealer's choice.
So is that the attacking unit's choice or the defending unit's choice?
I would need to double check. I believe it is the attacking unit's choice.
Right. Okay. So that's important because haywire will ignore saves largely and wound on 2s against anything with Cybernetica.
Finally, as well, actually, something that we've just recalled. Any unit that splits after deployment actually grants VPs separately. And the reasoning for that is actually it was a Warhammer World rule that was from one of their tournaments that we decided was so good, we thought it should be kind of enshrined and maintained rather than just being a one-off addendum for an event. So in this case, my Thanatars, once they part off, thanks to their Thanatar Mana Pool special rule, will be granting VPs separately if the mission would account for that.
Okay. So that is some basic level of changes that are going to be occurring, but if anything crops up during the game, we'll give an explanation for that as we go through.
Absolutely.
But those are like the main things that you should be watching out for. And with that, I think we'll get into the game, should we?
Let's get it done.
This video is sponsored by Older Gods, which is a terrifying cosmic horror film now available on Amazon and coming soon to other streaming services. The film follows American Chris Rivers, who, after the disappearance of his troubled friend, travels to the remote Welsh countryside to investigate what happened, leading him to a dark, apocalyptic cult. I sat down to watch Older Gods on Amazon the other night and thought it was an excellent film. But don't trust me, here's what a critic has to say. UK Film Review described it as horror of Lovecraftian proportions that sends a rush through your system and makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Older Gods is available to purchase or rent on Amazon Prime now for as little as $2 or £3. If you can watch the trailer for Older Gods at the end of this video, or if you want to brave watching the film straight away, search for Older Gods on Amazon or click the link in the description of this video, if you're brave enough.
So this is the battlefield today. You've got your full army deployed, except for the secutors that are off the table.
Yep.
I've got my thin green line set up over here and a lot of units coming in from reserve. Ollie, do you want to roll to seize?
We'll try my best. Nope, not today.
So we will get into Sons of Horus turn 1. So we've got night vision, or night fighting in turn 1. What do I want to do? I don't massively want to get within range of those Thanatars. But I imagine, have they got anything like searchlights on them?
So they don't. No, I didn't pay the points for those today.
So if I stay out of range, I'm thinking I might be able to just avoid them entirely.
So it's important to note they do have a 36-inch range, and one of the changes we did make, which I didn't mention earlier, is that the mortar weapon they are armed with doesn't have barrage in the core rules, which we did add back onto them because it's a mortar. It should have barrage.
Okay. So you're still going to be firing even if I stay out of range.
Correct.
So I might as well get into range. So I'm going to move my 6 inches forwards.
Castellax can move 7, I believe.
Castellax do in fact move 7, as Ollie's just pointed out. So I'm going to move 7 with them.
The joys of having played the army since the very beginning of 1st edition.
When there was just Castellax and Thalax.
Yeah, when all you had was like, oh, I'm going to build a Land Raider and take some tech marines. Nice.
Excellent. So, my Novitiae squad is going to... you see, I just sort of want to sprint forwards. Because those Castellax are going to do me if I do that.
Bear in mind that this turn, I haven't got my reactions turned on yet because I can't use my powers yet. So you're safe from automata reactions at least for now.
Yeah, I think I can ping some things into them, but I do need to preserve my units until later in the game. I know they're not lying the Novitiae, but do you know what? Aggressive or nothing. I'm even going to run because I really feel like it. So they go 11 inches for the unit. So hopefully my evades really help this turn.
Fingers crossed.
I know. Whether in one turn I need to do it. So my Rhino is going to go 7 inches forwards. I can't go flat out. Now, I sort of want to bail my guys out for a charge next turn, but I don't think I'm going to be around if I do that. I sort of need that extra oomph. So I'm going to move my 12 and 2. And then on this flank, my Rhino is going to go 12 and 2 to just butt it up to those jungle forest things. Jungle trees, that's what they're called. And that is my movement phase. So into the shooting phase, I'm going to start on this right-hand side for us and go the multi-melter into the Mechanicum Land Raider.
Okay.
So you're just letting me have it, I imagine.
There's not a great deal I can do about it, so yes, I will just have to accept this one.
So I hit on a 4 and I need a 6. No. Not wasting an evade there. Next, I'm going to go over to the Castellax. And I think this will be my only other shooting this turn. So I've got the left front Castellax, misses twice. The right front Castellax hits once. The left rear Castellax hits twice. Oh, sorry, this is into the Thanatar. I didn't say
I was going to assume it was into the Thanatar or something around this side, so yeah.
Yeah, the Thanatar. And the right rear Castellax overheats and gets a hit. So what does the overheat do? Nothing, because it's saved on the atomic deflector. So that's 4 hits, and rolling to wound, your toughness 8, so on 5s. That's nothing, but it is a blind check.
Okay, so that is, again, one of the changes we made. Blind is procced at the end of the shooting attack, not the end of the turn, which means a unit can be called upon to make multiple blind checks, just like pinning. I'm not blinded.
Oh, he avoids the blind. And that is the end of my turn. So over to Ollie's turn 1. So Mechanicum turn 1. What is the battle plan?
So far, I'm most concerned by what's coming in and outflank later on, so I'm feeling like board control's probably where I want to be.
Okay.
So I think we'll start moving things around and see what happens. So I'm going to start off by activating my Thalax's jetpacks. So they move 13. So that unit is going to go to there. Gets him to a nice position near that Rhino. One of the things that we did change about the Inculab and jetpacks was that their special extra move in the shooting phase can't be used in your opponent's shooting phase, only your own. So they're going 13 inches now. Once they finish shooting, they'll go an additional 6, but that will be it for their movement this turn. Unless they charge, of course. Who knows?
Who knows? So you are 9 inches away from me. If you shoot at me, you're going to get an additional 6. So you're 3 inches away. Do I want to maintain that at 9 inches away? Yes, I do. So I'm going to move 1 movement reaction. What do I do? So indecisive. I'm going to leave it there. It's only a tactical squad. Right.
Fair enough. Okay. So I'll do my next move then. I think I'm going to go... We'll go 6, and we'll unload as dangerous cargo for this turn, I think. I'm going to go that way.
Okay.
So the Land Raider's going to pivot, and from the edge of the track unit, forward to there. And it's going to dump its cargo all over the floor of Myrmidons.
Okay.
Who I'm just going to quickly pop down, and then we'll do the proper measuring for how far they actually get. They're getting as far as that.
Do you know what? With that commitment over this side, I will actually withdraw this Rhino. So I'll pivot up to the 90 degrees and move my 6 inches back to here. Because I want to give my tactical squad a bit more movement to get away from that location.
Yeah. Understandable, and honestly, the reaction I wanted. So that's good. We'll start then by moving something a little bit heavier. So the Thanatar is going to go first. He can get a grand total of 8 inches. So that's the edge of his base there. While the second one is going to go in the opposite direction that way.
Okay. And get to there. So it's worth saying, actually, that was my only reaction in the movement phase, because I'm going to use Armour of Pride as my Warlord trait, which gives me an extra 1 in the shooting phase.
Cool, okay. I'm going to start out by moving my Castellax, who I'm hoping don't suffer from newly painted model syndrome today, because I only actually finished them at 2:30 in the morning today. And the Magos, who can only go 6, is getting to about there.
Okay.
The unit of Domitar with the Archmagos attached are going to roll up a little bit as well, I think. So we're going to apply some pressure this way, I think.
Yeah.
And then the Magos can only go 6 because of his abeyant. So I'm actually going to need to just pull one of those Domitar back just a little bit, just to maintain coherency.
Yeah. Next, the Thalax.
Yeah, second squad of Thalax. We're going to go 13 again. I'm thinking we should probably try and slow down the advance of those Castellax if we can. So they're going to bounce directly overhead, just to land just in front of that Thanatar.
Okay.
We're now going to look at something a little bit more tasty in melee. The Arlatax are going to activate their jump boosters along with the attached Aquita. And they're going to go 12.
Right, so that gets you into a near definite charge range of 7 inches. And you got +2
Yes.
because of the jump booster, yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting situation if I manage to fail that, which knowing my dice rolling is possible. Okay, Castellax are going to wander up 7 as well. So they're just going to go to here.
And those are the ones with multi-melters.
And Siege Wreckers, yes.
Yeah.
So we're just going to try and stick to that terrain for now. And the Magos is just going to wander forward 6, just to the edge of that squad there. And with that, that's my movement phase done. Had the effect I expected over here with the push forward. Ended up with you retreating away from me, which is good. But I need to see how the rest of this goes, because it could go a little bit wrong once the outflanks start coming in. So I am concerned about that.
Hopefully.
Okay, shooting phase.
Yeah. So where do we want to start?
I think I'll probably start with some of the higher value weaponry and see if I can achieve some damage so I can place the lower value stuff later. So we'll start with the Thanatars, I think. So.
The lower value ones, those Strength 8 Plasma Mortars.
Oh no, they're the high value. We start there.
Oh, they start with the high value.
Yes. So I am concerned by the Culverin squad.
Yes. I actually forgot was nestled back there during my turn.
Camouflaged effectively. I mean, I can't blame you. Although I'm also concerned by that Castellax squad, which I think is going to do me a lot of hurt. Especially seeing as one pass blind test does not mean I will be able to pass them again repeatedly. So I think that Thanatar numero uno is going to shoot into the unit over there in the bush.
Right, so I can't see to make a return fire.
No, there's unfortunately a lot of trees in the way.
Now, this ignores cover.
It does, yes.
So I can't actually evade. So I'm just going to have to let you do it.
Take it on the chin, yeah.
You get all 5 by going on the central model.
Okay. I'm going to elect to double tap with Reactor Overload to shoot twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to be taking D3 wounds once that's done. That resolves after the shooting attack. Okay. So I'll scatter the first one and we'll see what happens. So scatters the full distance because it's barraging.
Yeah.
So that's a 6-inch scatter. That's going roughly that direction. So that's going that way.
So it gets there.
I think that hits one model out of the squad, maybe?
I think you just miss.
No problem.
Oh, yeah, it's 1.
Okay.
And it gets the tank.
Okay, so we've got 1 on the unit, 1 on the tank.
Yes. And then the second one.
Second shot. Well, that's completely gone. Jeez. All right. So we're going that direction, which I think is just going to be an absolute miss at that point. Yeah. Okay.
So 1 Duda and 1 tank.
Okay. So the 1 individual, I'm going to roll to see if I can breach against him, which I don't even wound him.
Sigh of relief.
And then check a stat line. And then 2d6 here for ordnance.
Oh, you got a pen there without having to re-roll that.
Lucky enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that do to the vehicle? I can't roll in the tray today, that's amazing.
3, so I'm snap firing in the next turn.
Yep.
I take a whole point.
Okay.
Yeah, next piece of shooting.
So I also need to now just resolve D3 wounds against the Thanatar.
Yeah.
So he's just taking the 1 there.
Oh, so not a bad result for you.
No, admittedly not terrible. So we'll pop a marker against him just so that we know he has taken some damage.
Okay.
Second Thanatar is now going to try. This one's going onto that unit of Castellax.
Right, and I can't react because my Pravian doesn't have any sort of form of cyberthurgy or anything.
So I believe if I go on his head, I hit the whole unit.
Yeah, just all 5.
Okay, I am going to double tap here again.
Of course. Is there any other way?
Only when you've got 1 wound left.
You see, that's where I say you're wrong. Because if you do it when you've only got 1 wound left, you deny the victory points to your opponent.
This is true, but it is funny.
Okay.
So, shot number 1. That's a direct hit.
So yeah, that hits 5 times on the unit.
Cool.
And my majority toughness is 6, so you still wound me on 2s.
Yep, I'm also then going to fire my second shot. That one does scatter. Now, I've got line of sight on you here, so it's only going 4, and it's going roughly in that direction, I think we can say.
Yeah.
So, template. Is that on?
Yeah, it gets a dude.
Just the 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a total of 6 hits.
Right. Now we'll be hoping for 6 ones.
Okay. See what we can do. Well, yeah,
Whoa.
that's not great.
It's not the best I've ever seen. So that's 1 breach and 2 wounds.
Yep, so you're getting your armor saves against those 2 wounds.
Yes. Now I'm not going to tank these on my Pravian because it will double him out. But the 2 wounds on the Castellax, they pass twice. And the Invon, they fail. So one of them takes a wound.
Cool. And now I have to take D3 wounds. So that takes 2.
Yeah, and down to 6.
5 now.
5.
Ouch. I'm also going to fire my Mauler bolt cannon at the unit as well, off the Thanatar. So 4 shots with Twin Link.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I'm really not getting these in the basket today. Nope.
3 hits, your strength 5.
6 with a Mauler.
6, right.
So I need 4s here. That's 2.
So 2 armor saves. I still don't want to tank them on the Duda. So 3 ups for the Castellax, and we love it.
Cool. And you can't be pinned because you're automata.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the Thanatars done their job. Reasonably. Not great, but you win some, you lose some. So I think now we'll move into the R attacks I think we'll do next, who've got their inbuilt light autocannons, which for the life of me I can never remember the stat line on. So they're going to fire the light autocannons into the side of that rhino. I think I'm probably hitting the side armour.
It's 11 and 11 anyway.
Yep.
So.
Okay, I am ballistic skill 3 normally, which means that I'm down to ballistic skill 2 here, which is a sad state of affairs. So looking for 5s. And I'm not a terrible batting average, I'd say.
Well, 3 hits, and you're going to get me on 5s because you're strength 6.
Yep, correct.
Any 5s will become an auto pen.
There we go.
So 1 auto pen.
With an extra 1 on it for what it's worth.
Okay.
So what does that do?
Ooh, immobilised.
Okay.
Right.
So that
I'm
stops
down
that
to
from
2.
getting away from me.
Yeah. At least it's lived up to its role. Kept the Marines alive for 1 turn.
The armoured box will become their coffin. I need to do a David Attenborough voice really for that. But... and then I've got some plasma cannons as well, thanks to the R attacks getting a buff between editions, however subtle.
Is that what we're calling it?
They were a bit sad in core rules. So, I'm going to fire my first plasma cannon shot at you.
Yeah. Right with the centre?
Yep. Which absolutely sods off as far as it can get.
Yes. So what is that, 9 inches?
Yeah. In fact, I'm ballistic skill 2 currently because of night fighting, so that's way out. That's gone. And second shot, direct hit.
Yes.
I am also going to need to roll some gets hots. So,
yeah.
gets hot on the left-hand most model, fine. And on the right-hand model, fine.
Yeah, so you're strength 7, so need a 4 to glance me.
No, unfortunately not.
No. Awesome. Awesome. About as much damage as my shooting phase up to now. So yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we can do something about that. I'm going to use the melter gun off of the Machinator array. So we'll see if we can get anything magic out of that. So with a 12-inch range, I'm in range, but I'm not in melter range.
Yes.
So 1 shot. I just need to double check what my ballistic skill is. So on a 3 here because of night fighting. I should have stayed quiet.
I think the word you're looking for is of course.
Yeah, of course that's what happens. Sure, not a problem. We'll keep moving on then. So, am I within range to use my Castellax's multi-melters next?
Oh, you must be.
Yep. Yeah. So, I'm going to fire the 3 multi-melters into you, but first I need to declare some cyberthurgy. So, I'm going to use my Magos to give the unit the ability to react and also to ignore the first shooting wound they take.
Yes.
So, leadership 9 on these, and I just need to double check something again. So, I'm now going to try and take my leadership test. So, unfortunately, down to LD8 because of night fighting.
You get it though.
Which I get. So,
great success.
I'll put a little marker there next to the unit just so I remember.
Okay.
So, we're going to fire off the 3 multi-melters.
Yeah.
And with twin linked.
Oh, forgot about twin linked.
If we can get it in the basket. There we go.
Yeah, so 3 hits, and then you wound me on 2s because I'm tough as 6.
Yep. 3 wounds.
3 wounds, so 3 5-up saves. I pass 1 and don't explode yet. I'm down to 1 wound.
Okay. It's worth me trying out if I'm in 12 inches of range with the Maxima bolters, but I'm not in 12 inches of range, so that can't happen today. No. Okay. We'll then try the Thalax to put some supporting fire in as well.
Okay, so that's the 3 lightning guns hitting on 4s.
4s here, yeah. The ballistic skill 4 normally. So night fire knocks them down to a 3. So that's 2 hits.
Yeah, not doing too badly. They wound on 3s because they're strength 7.
Oh.
Ooh.
With shred, fortunately.
Yeah. So 2 rends.
That's much more like it.
Right, and 2 5-up saves. Oh. I really don't want that Castellax to explode. Like, really, really don't want it to explode. I'm going to tank them. I'm going to continue tanking because the rules. So yeah, that is the Pravian dead, but the Castellax didn't explode, which I sort of was trying to save because he doesn't give that much cyberthurgy benefit to the unit. He sort of just gets the unit into the list.
Yeah. Which, admittedly, I'm surprised that my Thalax are now acting as snipers, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to make use of my little 6-inch extra movement I get from my jetpacks.
Yes.
Just to try and bounce into some terrain to try and give me some kind of save. So they can just get over here. So we'll just go over there a little bit and see if that helps us out.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take some pot shots with the Domitar into the same Castellax unit. They're hitting on 5s here because of their abysmal ballistic skill.
Okay.
No hits.
Excellent. Excellent.
The Domitar, having failed abysmally in their shooting attack, are going to now try and receive some cyberthurgy from the Archmagos. So I'm going to try and give them reactions and the ability to ignore their first shooting wound.
Of course, yes.
Which I just scrape, having been LD10 with night fighting, knocking me to LD9.
Oh,
so.
I think he might be stubborn though. Is he not?
Correct, yes, I believe he is, which would actually do it. So, yeah.
No more scared of the dark.
Well, the night is dark and full of terrors.
Okay. Right, so moving down the line.
Cool, yeah.
Oh, you don't have to, I suppose. I'm putting those words in your mouth. Where do we go next?
I think it may be time to try and put some holes in that Navisi squad. So I'm going to start shooting with my Darkfire Castellax into them.
Okay, so that's 6 shots coming in. I've got 2 reactions. Now, I'm not too bothered about my Rhino, and the guys inside can't react when they're forced to bail out. There's no point saving it for there. I might as well react now, so I'm going to evade from these shots.
Fair enough, okay. So first off, I'm going to try and cast my Cyberthurgy.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and give these guys +1 ballistic skill and the ability to react.
Yeah.
Which I fail at, unfortunately, so I don't get the ability. And I have to pass an invulnerable save.
Yes.
Which I do pass, fortunately, so I don't take any wounds, but I don't get any benefits there either. I'm also going to put myself a marker here, just so I remember that I did get my Cyberthurgy there.
Yes. So it's just flat ballistic skill for those Castellax today.
Yep.
So hitting on 4s.
Correct. So we'll start with this model. Okay, no hits and a gets hot, which I'm okay from, fortunately. Next model.
It's the rear Castellax.
Wow, okay.
Hits again.
Which I do take a wound from there. And the final Castellax finally scores a hit.
Okay. So that's 1 hit, 2 up to wound. Wounds. So I'm in the open, so I've just got my 5 up evade, and I'll need a blinding check because I've been hit by a blind. So I die, and then my blinding check is fine. And I believe you might need a blinding check.
No.
You don't from your own weapon.
So gets hot doesn't have any of the other abilities or anything like that.
Right, cool. Okay.
So that could have gone better, but that unit's just having a bad day. So we'll leave that alone. I think now it's probably worth firing my Thalax squad.
Okay.
So the Thalax are going to put some shots into that Rhino.
Right. I'm just going to have to take it because if I pop the reaction there, my Culverin squad dies. So even if that means I never pop a reaction for that second reaction this turn, I'm just going to have to take it.
Yeah. I understand it even if I don't like it. So we'll pop the 3 shots in.
Yeah, so hitting on 4s because of night fighting.
Okay. That's how it's done, Castellax. And then
4s to glance.
Yep.
And actually they will be auto pens because of rending.
So that's
1 pen.
Yep.
Which does also immobilized.
Yes. And it loses another hull point as well.
It does. Right, so down to 1. So does the Raider or the Myrmidons come next?
I'm not sure yet. While I think about it, I'm going to move these guys, the 6 inches they get from their jetpacks, into some terrain. I think it's probably time for the Land Raider.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot at the squad behind, I think.
Going to shoot at the culverins?
Yes, I think
Okay.
it's time to try and get rid of that because they do scare me. Particularly my Thalax are concerned by them.
Right, so that's 2 plasma cannons, and what is the gun have?
It's a phased plasma fusel, and obviously this is one of the Panoptica changes that those are Gravis plasma cannons.
Right, so because I can't do any damage to that raider, I'm going to evade this.
That's fair, I understand. So I'm going to start off with my 3 phased plasma shots.
Yes.
Which I've got twin linked here for, fortunately.
Yeah, and this is hitting on 4s, so 1 hit.
But no gets hot, fortunately. And then wounding on 2. That's a wound.
Yeah, and it's actually a rend.
Yep.
So I've got a 6 up cover because I'm in woods.
Yep.
I pass the cover.
Okay. And now I'm just going to need to check something. So I'm then going to fire my 2 Gravis plasma cannons, which I need the large blast template for. So I think we're going to try and take some pot shots into the middle of the squad again, which I think I can hit all of them if I do that.
So I'll grab that there.
So plasma cannon number 1. That's going to scatter 2 inches. So I'll go get my tape measure. So we're going that direction.
So just off to there and gets like, I want to say 3.
I'd say 3, sure. The second
4.
shot, was it 4?
Yeah.
Okay. And the second shot doesn't
It's-
scatter, so that's all 5.
Yeah.
And I need to do 2 gets hot rolls here as well. I'm okay.
All right.
So that's 9 total.
It is. This could be painful.
So breaching 4 plus. So we've got nothing on that and nothing on that.
So 5 breaches and 2 wounds.
Yep.
So the 2 wounds, I'm going to roll on the 3s. They're both fine. And that's where my heavy could have helped. I've got 5 breaches, of which I've got a 6 up cover and then a 5 up evade. So 6 up covers, nothing. 5 5s. 1. So 4 dead, and that's leaving just the sergeant. Right.
Okay.
So that was fairly effective.
So they're going to need a leadership test at the end of the phase.
They are.
Okay, that did its job quite well actually. I'm rather pleased with how that Land Raider's performed so far. I think I'm going to use my Plasma Myrmidons to try and put some holes in that Rhino.
Right.
Obviously, I can't do a whole lot once I've destroyed its final hull point, so I'm going to roll these guys one at a time. I'm going to do these one at a time because it gets hot. I think I'm going to just try firing 2 just to mitigate any gets hot that I get. So what we'll do is we'll say this dude here and this dude here are going to shoot into the Rhino.
Oh, that's because your pointy hat, oh, not the pointy hat, but the big hat
Yes.
is your Secutor Lord.
Yes, and I definitely don't want him to take any gets hot wounds before it's his time to do so.
Okay.
So you're definitely getting a cover save there. I'd save a 5 up.
Okay. Is
So
that the 6 plus 1 for the 25%? So I think I only get that off 1. Because the other one's in the side there and one's in the front. And I definitely don't get the plus 25% for the...
yeah. Okay.
Right.
So we'll start with this dude. So we've got 2 gets hots there and 3 hits.
Oh, because they're -1 for night fighting.
Yep, so the gets hots on a 5 up. I do care about one of them.
Yeah, so he takes a wound, but he's down to 3, which isn't actually... It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Like 4 wounds, like a Castellax is...
Meaty.
Premier. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then this gaffer. Okay, so there's a gets hot there, and then that's 5 hits.
So that's 5, of which I get the 5 up save against.
Yep.
It gets hot.
I do take a wound from.
Yes.
So, as I'm sure both yourself and all of viewers will soon see, my luck with gets hot is abysmal. So, expect that I will do more wounds to myself with that unit in my own shooting phases than you will do in yours.
Yeah, well, I tend to find when I play my Secutors, they kill themselves, like, faster than my opponent kills them, but they wipe stuff out fast enough that it's worth it.
Yeah, they tend to be... They'll do a lot of damage to whatever they look at, but they won't survive very long if they're shooting every turn, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so the 3 shots to which you get in
6 up.
your 6 ups.
Or even probably nothing.
So I'm not getting anything there. I need 5s because I'm on the front armour there, I think.
Right.
So that's no. And then these ones are going into your side armour. So I need 5 still here, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. It's 11 on the side.
Cool. So that's 1. That's a pen.
Yeah, and actually you can see that side, so it's just a 6 up.
Okay. So do you want to roll your save?
Oh, I could have done with that 6.
So get in the basket. There we go. So it's not exploding, which to be honest, not a great deal of anything anyway. Then, so you make an emergency dislocation.
I do. So I'm going to take my pinning check, or not my not pinning check for snap firing. I love it, and then I'm going to bail out.
Cool.
So that is my tactical squad disembarked. I've decided to go into the woods because I want the secateurs to get -2 to their charge. I don't want to be too far away and just which would result in them completely denying the charge but being a bit out of it. I've got cover, and hopefully I can make a charge in turn 3 to get use of those crack grenades, hopefully into those castellax. That's all right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have actually denied me that charge anyway, I might say, because I'll have to go round all that terrain to get to you. So that's more than 12 inches. So I can't do a great deal of anything there. I don't actually think I've got any charges to declare this turn as a result.
I have got a leadership test to make, though, which is the Sergeant of the Volkite Coverings.
Correct.
He hates it and runs off. And he runs off to and gets to just into that woods.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh no, there is a charge for me to declare. The Arl attacks are going to have a go at that side of that rhino.
I am sure they are. Now I've got 2 hull points left. Your strength 7?
9 with
9.
the Panoptica changes. They're Arl attacks claws.
Right. So there's no way I'm going to survive that. So I'm just going to overwatch. So I've got my combi bolter. I've got combi. So that's 2 hits. Your majority is 6.
Yes.
So that's no wounds. And then I've got the multi-melter that doesn't hit, hits. I'm within 12, so I get a reroll to the wound. It's strength 8, so wounds on 2s. So wounds AP 1.
Okay. 5 been won. Nope, I take a wound on the Arl attacks.
Okay.
Pretty sure they've got 4 wounds each, but I'm just double checking. Yep, 4 wounds each. So 1 goes down to 3.
Cool.
Okay, and then I'm going to try my charge off and see what happens. So that's a 9-inch charge, and I believe that gets me quite comfortably.
Well, it's an 11, isn't it, because of your jump booster?
Yes, so in fact I can actually choose to go right up and block you in if I decide, which I do. So he's going to try and just give the tank a nice hug. And 1 there, then 1 there.
Okay.
Okay, so that was reasonably successful. So now it's time to make some melee attacks. So each Arl attacks has got 3 attacks base, for a grand total of 6 attacks base. They then have 2 extra attacks, 1 each for having 2 melee weapons, and 1 extra attack each for charging.
So it's 10 total attacks hitting on 2s. 10 hits?
Yeah, that'd do it. And in this case now I'm striking the rear armour of the vehicle.
Yeah, so you need 1s.
So, I literally can't fail here. I'll at least glance you out, but let's see if I get any nice explodes. So, those are glances, which guarantee that it's gone. However, did knock them, they were 1s. However, these are all pens. So, do I manage to get an explodes result?
You need a 6. You do.
Yep, there's an explodes in there. So, if you would like to... Actually, do you know what? We'll roll the explodes distance first.
Yeah.
So that's a 5, so it's getting me. If you want to roll 3 attempts to wound me.
I do. Strength 8. I get 2 wounds.
Okay, so we'll take these on the 3-up armour. The bots are okay.
Loves it. And then there's 10 dudes inside.
Cool, so that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 8 wounds total.
8. So that's 3 up saves, because I just tank them on the dudes. So that's 1 dead. So 9 dudes left in however many I can fit into the shell of that rhino.
Yep.
Now I've taken a penetrating hit, so I need to take a test or be snap shooting next turn. The veteran sergeant fails because he's leadership 8, and the actual pinning check is failed as well, so they're pinned.
Sinister with the claws reaching. So reaching around, but that sounds a little bit iffy.
That's even more sinister.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is where this squad bails out to. It's just a tactical squad, but it's First Company Reavers style tactical squad. And yeah,
Okay.
that is them.
So that would be, I think, the end of my assault phase. Reasonably happy with how everything went down. Quite brutal for his first turn, but I'm sure I'm about to get some payback.
Hopefully. And that will be into Sons of Horus, turn 2. So in Sons of Horus turn 2, hopefully we can turn this around a little bit. So I've got 3 types of reserve coming on. I've got my Cestus Assault Ram, which doesn't. I've got my Deep Striking Veteran Assault Squad, which doesn't, on a 1 again. And I've got my Reavers, which I actually now kind of hope don't come in. But they do. So, my Reavers are coming in, they're outflanking. So, let's see what edge. 1 and 2 will be this edge, 3 and 4, the right hand edge. 3, 4, so they're over the right hand side. Oh, is it night fighting anymore? So it's a 4 up.
Do you want to roll that?
Yeah. No, it's not, it ends.
Okay.
So, we'll get my Reavers placed. So, my unit has mishapped essentially on the outflank.
Yep.
Which Ollie was nice enough to put it back towards my edge, which benefited me slightly because I could hide behind these woods. And I suppose it does take away any scoring that would have come. Oh no, Reavers don't get scoring as part of Black Reaving, but it takes away a bit of board control from Ollie's table quarter there. And do you want to do any interceptors then?
Yeah, why not? We'll try and do some interceptor with these guys.
Yes.
I've also got some augury scanners hidden in my Castellax squads. I think we'll also use the augury scanner here then to do an intercept reaction as well.
Okay.
So, we'll go through this unit here for their intercept shots. So I'm going to move around the unit clockwise, starting here.
Yeah.
So the joys of Gets Hot, 1 at a time. So I've got 1 Gets Hot there.
Yep, and 5 hits.
I do take a wound from that.
So the second guy, there's 5 hits up to now.
That's 6.
So that's 11 hits. Third one, this is on 3 wounds.
Again, another 6.
So 17. And then the final 2.
4th one. So that's 5.
So that's 22.
And it gets hot. Doesn't care about. That's cocked.
Yep.
That's
28 total hits.
So,
Yeah.
fortunately, you are going to be getting a cover save pretty much regardless here.
Okay.
Because, frankly, I can't see cleanly to any model. They've all got something in the way. So,
Right.
I think that's fair enough.
Okay, so 28 hits.
So, you know what? I'm going to do these half at a time because there's that many.
Okay, so wounded on 2s. So that's 4 fails. And we've got 4 AP3s.
Yep, so those are AP3. And those are AP2.
Yeah, so that's 6 of them. 7 of them. The next roll, only 1 complete fail. 4 AP3s again. And then 10?
That's... No, that's 8 more.
Ah, cool.
Cool. So, if you'd like to roll your saves.
So I got enough wound pool in the squad to just take these all on 3-ups, which is what I'm going to do because I want to avoid being forced to take those AP3s on my characters and continue rolling. So 6-ups covers. That's 2. 1 dude is survived because of that. And then then I've got my 5 up Feel No Pain for the Apothecary. And I'm hoping he does a lot of work. So that is 5 passes, 6 passes, 7 passes, yes! But that does mean that 14 have failed, so 7 dudes die, which is about half the squad.
So that was a rather spicy shooting attack.
It was. Pretty powerful goals for Reavers, so I'm not too upset. So long as that character and the sergeant get there, I'm not going to cry about it.
Yeah, so that is my movement phase reaction gone. And as I've just remembered, I did actually fail my Cyberthurgy here. So as a result, they're not going to be shooting this turn in the Interceptor.
Okay. So that's over to my movement phase proper, of which I've got my pin squad there, which isn't great for me. I'm going to roll a leadership test for my Culverin sergeant, who is now leadership 8, because it's not knight, and he passes, yes! So he's already snap firing, so he might as well move at the same time. So we move back into the middle of those woods, ready for me to forget about him this turn. My squad in cover here can't charge this turn. A couple of them will probably be able to see, so I'm actually going to leave them there to Fury into the Myrmidons if you use your 2 reactions somewhere else. My big squad of Inducti dudes are going to be very useful this turn. What I'm going to do is move them forward 7 and get about an inch away from the Castellax. I'm also going to move to this point to go towards the Domitar. And that is because crack grenades only give me 1 attack anyway. So I don't care if I disordered charge.
Okay, just as a reminder, crack grenades have been changed to AP4.
Ooh.
So it might be worth thinking
all
about
one
that.
way then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason for that change, just for anybody watching along, crack grenades are supposed to be a tactical squad, or any other squad who's got them, defense against things like dreadnoughts and automata. But thanks to them being AP3, could do nothing against dreadnoughts, meaning that Mech were the only faction that really suffered from them existing.
Yeah.
And the fact that they automatically hit now basically meant that a tactical squad at half the cost of a Castellax, let's say you've got 1 Castellax versus 20 tacticals, that's a dead Castellax, and that only increases even if, as you add Castellax. So knocking them down to AP4 just meant that at least the Castellax had a chance of getting their armor saves off.
Do you know what? I 100% actually agree with it. Like, it's whenever I played with or against Mech, just getting a basic tactical squad to just melt to crack grenade into combat was always just done in whatever specialist automata that I charged.
Yeah.
So my Castellax over here are going to move their 6 and get to here.
I'm going to react there,
Yes.
and the Thalax are going to bounce. They're going to go 8 with their movement reaction, 2 withdraw.
Okay.
So they just get just behind this Castellax squad.
Awesome. Right. So that is into Sons of Horus shooting phase,
Okay.
in which I'm going to start with my Darkfire Castellax into the Thanatar right in front of them.
Okay, he can't react to you.
Oh, in fact, yeah, I'm going to do it into them. So the one that's on 1 wound overheats.
Oh.
It explodes. It explodes 3. Yeah, it will get all 3. Yeah, so I actually bounced the other Castellax to the front and didn't really move the one that was on 1 wound.
Cool. So 3 attempts to wound.
So 3 wounds, and then 3 3-up saves. They're all fine. So the other 3 Castellax on the left obviously overheats once, hits once though. In the middle, overheats and hits. What were you saying about you overheating a lot?
I think my
the
bad
rear
luck has
one,
just passed to you now.
it has done osmosis. So we've got 4 total hits and 2 overheats. So the overheat here is fine, and the overheat on the middle Castellax is taking a wound, which is a dice.
There you go.
Cool. So the 4 hits, wound on 5s. So that's once, twice.
Okay. So 5 ups. Pass 1 and fail 1. This is on the Thanatar.
It is.
So
And that is a blinding check.
So roll my blind. He is blinded.
Yes, excellent.
Give me that.
Which gives me a bit of leeway to get stuck in there.
So what I'll do is I'll just pop a little tower next to him so I remember.
And my tactical squad here is going to rapid fire into the Artilax squad. So that's 20 dice.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And that's a non... and that's all snap firing, so I imagine not going to provoke a reaction.
I can't react there anyway, due to the fact that they don't have reactions engaged.
Ooh. Spicy. 2 hits. One wound, because it wounds on a 6.
Yep. 3 up. I'm okay.
Love it. Love it.
Loving it.
This might be a very short shooting phase. I'm going to snapfire my Volkite Culverin Duder into your Myrmidon Secateurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a bit of a decision, wasn't it? Yeah. So the 5 shots, hitting on 6s, that's 1 hit. And to wound, it doesn't wound. Right. But with the reaction not being popped, I'm not going to fire anything else into them. Whereas if the reaction had been popped, even though it would have wiped out that squad, it would have meant my tacticals were free to fire into them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with only the Reavers that could fire into the Thalax, which I don't want to get some lightning guns in return, or the bolt pistols from the Novitiae squad, which I don't want to get dark fired twice.
So these guys, crucially,
Oh,
can't
they can't react, can they?
So that is a free one,
Ooh.
and I have got 2 reactions remaining still.
So, that's all of the squad. They have lost 1 dude up to now.
Yep.
So there's 19 of them that are going to hit on 4s because they're ballistic skill 3. Oh, and that is big. So that is 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 fails, so that's 10 hits. And a wound on 6s, so that's 1 wound. So he's not that big.
We'll try it on a 3 up. I'm okay.
Loves it. And with that, we'll get into the charge phase, of which my Novitiae are going to charge into your Castellax.
Okay.
So they get an 8-inch charge.
You're well in.
The Thalax is going to get charged by my Reavers.
Okay, I'm going to Overwatch you here, I think.
Okay, so let's do that now. So 3 lightning gun shots.
Yep. So that's 1 hit.
Wounded on 2s.
Yep, that doesn't rend, but it is just a regular wound. You get
On a
save.
Duda. He loves it.
You're fine.
And they get,
10.
a 10-inch charge, which is fairly hefty. So, I'm higher initiative than you, so do you mind if I just take the pile in at the same time?
That's fine, yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, 10-inch charge plus the 3 actually gets the apothecary to about half an inch away. So, everyone else is just going to,
Pile them in.
yeah, pile round. Excellent. Finally, the Castellax are going to go into your Thanatar,
Okay.
which has been blounded. So you have been blound. Oh, you can't react anyway because you've not popped the reaction on it, have you?
Correct.
So, I go 1 inch forward.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they don't get in. And I'll get my Novitiae moved. So we'll start with the Novitiae squad, which has... I've done my pile in already. I've got 1 dude out of combat range. So yeah, over to your attacks because I'm using crack grenades.
Cool. So I've got 2 attacks per model base on the Castellax. And then because we've treated the Power Blade arrays like lightning claws, 2 additional attacks per model.
Okay.
So I'm hitting at initiative 3, but you're using crack grenades, so you're going last anyway.
Yes.
So I'm going to be striking here at strength 7, AP 3.
Yeah, weapon skill 3, so you hit me on 4s because I'm also 3.
Yeah. So that's looking like 7 hits.
Yeah. So you're strength 7, are you? So that's doesn't actually really come into it with my Legion rule because 7 to 6, you still wounded me on 2s.
Yep. So let's grab them. So 1 fail.
So that's 6 dead, which is, I will remove them in a second, but that's 6 attacks away from my crack grenades. Now, my crack grenades in return, they all auto hit. I'm strength 6, you're toughness 6, so it's 4s. And that was a good roll. So that's 3 fails. So that should be, that is 9 wounds. So you've got your 3 up save, because as you said, AP 4 on crack grenades.
Yep. So I've got this gaffer here with 3 wounds remaining. So we're going to start there and work our way through the squad.
Yes.
So 3 ups. That's 2 gone.
Yep, so he's on 1 wound remaining. You've got 6 more to take.
So we'll do these one at a time now until he dies. He's gone. So
How far does he explode?
we'll just deal with that in just a second, I guess. So 4 on this dude here. Takes 2 more. So the last one on him. Okay, just takes the 2. So let's just grab that dice out of there for a second.
Yes.
Get. So he's got 2 remaining. So how far does he pop? Would you like to roll that one?
Yeah. So he goes 4 and gets a lot. I think he gets all of my squad because my guy will be piled in.
Yep, so that's going to go a fair old whack, I think. In fact, that's almost the entire squad. I don't actually know if it hits him, would you say, at the back there at 4 inches?
Yeah, let's just go with it. He's
Cool.
a 6-point model.
So that's even going to clip a Mydon and the vehicle, as well as the Thanatar.
Yes, and 6 of these are already dead.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter where they come from because you're hitting all in the squad.
Mm-hmm.
So 5, 6. So that means there are 13 to strike against me.
That's bounced out of the basket, so try again. So that's 1, 2,
So that's
didn't wound.
11 total. So it's 11. So it's 11 3-ups. So that's 2, bringing total casualties to 8 in terms of combat res.
Cool. Would you like to roll 3 against the Castellox squad?
Oh, I'd love to. So that's 2 wounds, a 3 and a 5,
Okay.
of which you'll get your 3-up save.
Nope, I'll take another wound, knocking that Castellox there down to 1 wound remaining.
Onto the Secateurs, you said it was just 1. That's 1 wound,
Fine.
saved. And onto the Mechanicum Land Raider, does nothing.
And what about the Thanatar?
Oh, the Thanatar.
Wounds it?
Yeah, because it's a 4 against toughness 8.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. So I've done a total, I believe, of 4 wounds.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Yeah.
How many was that guy on at the start?
It was on 3 at the start.
3 at the start, yeah. So 3, and then I did. So I've done 4 wounds against 8, so I lost by 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking a leadership check at -4. Oh, they run.
Okay. So before you run, would you like to roll D6 off?
Yeah, I'd love to. 4. Oh, you've done me.
Got him.
So that is that Novitiae squad gone. So in the combat over this side, we've got the Thalax versus the Reavers. I'm going to strike with my Paragon Blade with my Praetor so that I get to go first.
Cool. Yep.
So my Praetor is weapon skill 6, you're 3, so I'm hitting on 2s. So I've got 6 attacks, that's 4 base, 2 close combat weapons and charge, because I've got a Thunder Hammer and a Paragon Blade. I hit 6 times and wound, with 3 instant death.
Okay. So
And I wound once more.
I can't take my field no pains against that, which actually kills the whole squad immediately.
Yeah, and I consolidate my 4 inches and get blasted next turn.
So start on my turn 2 then. I best start thinking very carefully about what I want to do. Blind's going to persist on the Thanatar here. So he's not going to be doing a great deal of anything impressive shooting wise. So what I am going to do is I'm going to backpedal him slightly. So just a few inches backward, don't really need to go very far. So that the Domitar can move up. Should I?
Yes. Now, I'd love to be able to react to this, but I can't.
Yeah, which is fortunate for me. And that token that I've put on there has gone now because they've lost the ability to react. I'll need to reactivate that this turn.
Okay.
Okay. Same for these guys here as well. Okay. So those are attacks. Technically not locked in combat.
No, they're not, because they were in contact with the vehicle.
So I'll need to re-roll that one if I'm going to do anything there. But first, I think it's probably worth me rolling these guys up a little bit, just to there. Just so that they can also help pitch in that combat. And 6-inch move on the Magos just gets him to there. The Thalax are going to go 13 inches just over to this side of this terrain, which just gets them just clear of that dangerous terrain, otherwise it would have been slightly less than ideal.
Yes.
That Thanatar is going to roll that way a little bit,
Yeah, right into the centre of the board.
where at least then it has nice clean line of sight into that squad there at in the terrain.
And they will actually react to this one. So they're going to just move their initiative through cover, so they're only moving 2, but it just allows them to space out that little bit.
Making sure that when that plasma does land on them, it's not an immediate death sentence.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to move them all because then I'd just be rebunching them up, but they just get that little bit.
The Myrmidons are going to go 6 just to kind of space themselves out a little bit and make the next charge they try and pull a little bit easier for themselves.
A charge?
Perhaps. That Land Raider is going to turn quite nicely like that.
Yeah.
So that it can use one sponsor out that way, main gun, and another sponsor out into that same squad there, I think. In fact, if we do that, there we go.
Okay.
And then last but not least, the Castellax squad. They're going to wander forward just to 7 inches, I think, just to there.
Okay.
And he's on 1 wound, and he's going 6 to keep up. Okay. So that will be my movement phase.
Yeah.
So shooting phase, I'm going to start by doing some cyberthurgy from the Archmagos.
Yes.
So I'm going to go for ignore first shooting wound and 3d6 charge distance.
Right. Okay. Oh, he loves it.
He's easy. So he's got to go fast.
Yeah. But so you've not made them able to react?
No.
Okay.
I'm putting everything on making this charge go off. So that's them. And then the unit itself is then going to shoot.
Right, so they've each got 2 grav flamers?
Grav hammers, yeah. So they're now going to shoot as follows. So he's going to fire like so, which I think can clip all 3.
Yep, so that's 3 twice.
So that's 6 hits. And I think he can only really clip 2, because no matter what I do, I'm only going to hit 2 that way, so he's just going to get 4.
Okay.
For a total of 10.
Yeah. So I've got 10 wounds left in this unit.
Okay. So this is going to be haywire.
It is.
So I'm looking for anything from a 2 upward, with those 6s being preferred.
Or 3 6s.
So that there then is 2 that did nothing. That's 3 automatic wounds, and then 5 invulnerable saves.
So I'll take the 5 invuns first. I can just...
Oh, sorry, I'll move those that way for you.
So the invuns... I passed 1, so that's 1 just immediately exploded. Well, 2. 2 on this one, which explodes it, and then 2 on this further Castellax, which then, with 3 more wounds done to the unit, explodes.
And the remaining model has
Yeah.
3 wounds remaining.
Yes.
There you go. Use that one.
Cool. So that's basically 2 explodes. Do you want to roll the distance?
So middle one, try again, 3 inches.
Right, so that definitely gets my other Castellax.
And then the far edge gets 5.
And that won't get your models anyway, but gets my other Castellax again.
Okay.
So that's 2 more hits on my Castellax.
2 wounds.
2 wounds, 2 4 up. Oh, 2 3 up, sorry.
They loves them both.
All right, and then you're probably going to get at least one hit from them on me, I'd say, if not two.
Yes. So I was slightly... Let's go with one. It wounds.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was slightly too hasty in removing those Castellax.
And then the 2 missile launchers hitting on 4s with crack missiles. 2 hits.
2s.
2 wounds.
And then AP3, because I imagine you were using the frag.
I am using cracks, yeah.
That's 2 wounds taken, so I'm down to 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah, that happened.
Okay. We'll then go into the multi-melters next. So I'm going to cast some Cyberthurgy. I'm going to go for reactions and we'll say ignore the first shooting wound as well.
Okay.
On a 9.
Get it.
Cool.
So 3 multi-melter shots? Or do you want to start with the Maxima bolters?
We'll start with the multi-melters and see what happens, eh?
On that last wound.
So Twin Link. Okay, I'm only
One
allowed
hit.
1, but 1 may be all I need. That wounds.
It does, and even if you didn't, were in melter range. And I take the wound and I explode. So how far do I explode?
4 inches. I think you're going to hit quite a few things there. So you're going to clip at least 1, in fact 2 Castellax, and I'd say
Just one of them.
1 Domitar, yeah.
So 2 Castellax, both get wounded. Oh, they love it. And the Domitar is wounded.
Okay.
Right, well, that's that unit. On to the next.
Okay, that was actually better than what I expected by quite a long distance.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I was thinking that those Haywire Flamers were going to probably strip maybe 1 model out, but to take 2 out and put another one on taking a wound, that leaves me out in the open for any potential next turn arrivals, which I get the feeling are going to, hopefully for you, be the Cestus Assault Ram and so on. So that could be a little bit of a problem, especially with its contents.
Yeah. So, where do we go next?
I think now we're probably going to fire the Myrmidons into your Reaver squad.
Yes, so they've only got bolt pistols, so I'm going to evade.
Okay.
Because there is 0 point snapping some bolt pistols into them.
No. So I'm going to start with this model, and we're going to travel through the unit in the first row, and then this model last.
Okay.
So model number 1. That's 6 hits.
Okay.
Do you want to track these for me, just so that it's a bit easier? And then the next one. 5 hits, and it gets hot.
Okay. The gets hot.
I do take a wound from that.
So that's down to 3 wounds.
Yep, we'll just pop that on him. Where's the 3? There you go.
The third model in gets an overheat and 5.
Yep.
So that's a total of 16 up to now.
Yeah, he takes a wound as well from that. So, okay.
The Myrmidon Lord gets an overheat and 5. So that's 21.
And he does take a wound from that as well.
So that's all the Myrmidons wounded up to now.
Yeah. So that's half of the course at this point, I feel.
Why did I evade with that squad? I've got a feel no pain of 5 up. Anyway.
Yeah. And the last but not least, all hit there.
Okay. So that is a total of 12, 22, 27 hits.
Youch. So we've got 27 dice in here. So just in the interest of making it easier for me to roll, I'm just going to do half and half, roughly.
Yes.
So the first batch, so that's 1 that does no, and then we've actually not got that many breaches in here.
So it's 4 breaches.
I'm
5
seeing
breaches.
6.
6.
So those are AP3.
Yep.
There's 8 at AP3 and 6 at AP2.
Yep. And then the next load.
Just get these out of the way. Okay.
So it's 3 fail. So there's 11 left to play for.
So that is a grand total of 11 at AP2 and 12 at AP3.
Okay. So in my Reaver squad, I've got 6 guys before my apothecaries on my apothecary and sergeant and praetor. So I'm just going to roll those 11 AP2s all at once because I don't want those AP2s getting put on my 2-up saves. So I pass 2 of my evade rolls. So I'm going to call it evade because I used the reaction. So that's 2 dead, 3 dead, 4 dead, and a wound. And now the AP2, oh, so the AP3s. So I've got 2 3-up saves left. And then everyone else is on 2-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start killing the guy that's on a 3-up save that's wounded. So he is dead. Next, I actually want to start tanking them on my apothecary because I still get my armor save for when I've got a 2-up. And if the rest of the squad dies, the apothecary will pop out of existence. So I've got 11 saves left. Wish me luck. Bouncy tray. Oh, and he's feel no pain. So, oh, he loves it. The apothecary, the main tank of the unit, saves me from Muchos destruction. And yeah, that's
Technical term.
yeah, fairly well tanked. Well done, well done. So yeah,
That was surprisingly not as much damage as I expected to do. I think that the 2 wounds on the Reavers really helped him out there.
yeah.
Not to mention the fact that I managed to roll a Gets Hot now on every single model, so yeah, that's interesting to say the least.
Yes. So, what is next? What punishment am I going to be taking?
I think it's time for some more plasma cannons, you know. So, I think the Land Raider is going to fire next.
Okay, where is he going?
I think we're going to have to try and get rid of, with extreme prejudice, that Reaver squad there, with the Gravis plasma cannon on this side.
Okay.
And then this Gravis plasma cannon is going to fire into that squad there.
Okay.
And the Phase plasma fusel is also going to shoot that squad as well.
Right, so that's both 2 weapons into the tactical squad and 1 plasma cannon into the Reavers.
Correct.
Which one do you want to go with first?
We'll start with the Reavers.
I'm going to use my second shooting reaction on the tactical squad because if I wait for the plasma Thanatar, he ignores cover, so I can't react to that.
Fair enough. So, we'll start with it on the Predator's head.
So he goes...
3 inches.
Yeah.
So, with a 5-inch template, that might just clip or it might fail.
So going 3 inches, you get 1 dude or 2 dudes?
Just 1.
Cool.
Okay. And then, we'll tell you what, we'll resolve this one first.
Yeah.
And then we'll go over and deal with the shots into the unit. So, the 1 hit doesn't rend. So, you've got your armour save
Right.
there.
So I've got a 2-up save, and I'll take this on the apothecary. He loves it.
Absolute champion.
Well, I'm sort of forced to do this now because he will pop out of existence
Yeah,
if I take it on anyone else and they die.
for sure. Let's try on that gaffer's head there, I think. How many models am I hitting there, do you know?
In that, you will be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So let's roll that scatter.
Ooh.
So that's a 6-inch scatter.
On that guy's head, was it?
It was this guy at the front.
This guy.
Yeah. So 6-inch scatter gets me to about here, which is hitting
No
a
one.
precise amount of not a lot.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Let's move into the phase plasma fusel from the front of the tank as well then.
Yeah.
So that is 3 hits,
Cool.
and that is 2 wounds at AP3.
Right, so I've got a 6-up cover because Woods are 6-ups, and then I've got my evade. So 1 cover save passed, and my evade passed.
That came in very useful.
Yeah, well
And
done, squad.
I do need to roll Gets Hots for the Gravis plasma cannons now as well.
Cool, yeah.
So,
Loves it, loves it.
all good. Okay.
Awesome. And that will be, what have you got left? The Thanatar and the Artilax.
So-
and the Castellax with Darkfire.
Yeah, these guys haven't shot yet either. So, I'm going to try and fire my Darkfire Castellax at the lone remaining Volkite Culverin.
Yeah.
Too long has he blighted this side of the board.
Yeah, well, I've used up both my reactions. So
let's try it out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and Cyber Third you to get +1 ballistic skill and reactions on them. And I manage it this time.
you do.
So, Darkfire Castellax number 1 manages to gets hot.
Excellent. And he's on 1 wound left. Oh,
Champion.
gutted.
Champion, okay. And then the second Darkfire Castellax gets 2 hits.
Yeah.
So the 3 hits translate into 2 wounds at AP 2.
Yeah, and he's got a 6-up from being in woods. Oh, I would have loved the double 6 there.
It would have
not to
been
be.
impressive if it was double 6.
Right. So that's them done.
Cool.
Artilax and Thanatar.
So this Thanatar, even though it's blinded, and therefore is at ballistic skill 1, can still shoot. So I'm probably going to try and use it again, just in the hope that I can manage something impressive.
Okay, so where's it going?
It's going to shoot next, and it's going to double tap. And that's a tree. It's going to shoot there, I think. Which
Okay.
I think I hit 5 or 6 models if I do that.
I think you get more if you go further this way.
Okay.
So you'll get 6 if you go there. So 6 with the template placed here.
Cool. So the first shot, that's going to scatter a very big distance because I'm only ballistic skill 1 now. That goes 6 inches.
Ooh.
So
That guy's head.
we're in that direction.
Yes. So he gets to there.
Sugar. Is that anything?
No.
Okay. Second shot.
Yeah, same guy's head.
Whew. Okay, that's going 11 inches.
And that's over to here.
Absolutely nowhere, yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to take D3 wounds from that because I double tapped. Take a full 3 wounds out of that, so he's down to 1 wound, so that wasn't really worth it.
Awesome.
Okay. He's now going to try and show the other Thanatar how it's done.
Right. So he is double tapping or not?
Double tapping as well.
Okay. So he gets 6.
Direct hit. Second shot. That's going to go...
2 inches.
No, that's going to go 3 inches. Is that
Oh,
one?
3 inches. So it's to the side of the rhino, and you still get 3 dudes, so it's a total of 9.
Okay. So slightly better. I say slightly. I think anything's better than nothing.
So 4's to rend. You get 2 rends.
Those are breaches, not rends.
Breaches.
Yeah. So you've got your armor save against that, and not against that.
So it ignores cover,
Yep.
so that's 2 just dead. Then the 3 that I get armor saves against. And the 3 that I get armor saves, that's 2 more dead. Losers. That is, we're both knocking that all the time. So that's 4 total dead from the squad, and that'll be a leadership check for them, as well as the Reavers at the end of the turn.
Yeah, I am also going to fire my Mauler Bolt Cannon into that for you. There you go.
Oh, cheers.
So, Twin Link,
Oh, 4 hits from the Mauler, 2's to wound.
that's 4 wounds.
4 wounds, 4 3-up saves. Oh, 1 dies. So that's a total of 5 dead.
Cool.
In this squad.
And it will be a pinning test as well.
It is. So I'm leadership 8 from the sergeant. 4, it matters. I love it.
You're okay. Okay.
Just builds me up to make me run away later.
That Thalax squad and the Arlatax squad.
Yes. So I imagine we're going over here.
Yes. So, the Thalax are going to fire their lightning guns into this tactical squad.
Yeah.
That's 2 hits.
2's to wound with 4's rending.
For 1 rend and 1 AP4.
The 3-up save. Loves it.
Sorry, AP5 there.
Yes.
Even still, 1 gone. And then there's the Arlatax auto cannons as well. So that's going to be 8 shots.
Hits on 4s.
Yep.
So that's 4 hits. 6, strength 6, so wounds on 2s. Oh, you get a rend.
So yeah, there's 1 rending and 3 armor saves.
3 armor saves, 3 ups. 3 love it.
Cool.
Are you going to fire the plasma cannons?
I am nothing if not absolutely committed to the meme. So yes, I will, because blowing myself up would be exquisitely funny. So we're going to dump 1 there,
Yes.
but we'll fire them both in that same spot there. So that's going to be 6 models hit if I do that.
Cool.
So, do I get hot? Nope.
Shame, shame. Now we just need you to scatter onto your own blokes.
First shot. Well, that's off by some distance.
6 inches.
So that's like, wait,
Yeah,
up there,
nothing.
nothing. And the second shot, that's only going 1 inch. So that actually might hit more because it was there, so it's there. So that's going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models as well.
Cool. So 6 wounded on 2s, breaching on 4s. So 1 dead, and that's enough to force the panic check.
Cool.
And 3 wounds, of which 3 survive. But there is a panic check coming there now.
Okay, and finally, I'm going to fire the melter gun off the Machinator array.
Cool. Hits, 2s to fry.
1 Marine is cooked.
They are. So that's 1 Marine cooked. And is that the end of your shooting?
I do believe so, yes.
Right. So it's some test for me.
That was uncomfortably brutal.
Well, we'll wait and see till this. So leadership check for that tactical squad. They run. And they go 8 inches. I'll leave those dice there. You failed me, dice. So, the tactical squad in cover. Oh, they love it. They're sticking around. And my Reavers on the far end. I'm glad that wasn't just an 11. Because it could have been.
It would have been quite sad.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, it's just that squad running.
It's time to do some charges, I think.
Yes.
So, what I'm going to do is, in a move that nobody was expecting, the Thanatar is going to charge you.
Do you know what? I was actually just thinking, are you going to charge the Thanatar?
Of course I am.
Yeah. Right. So I will... With that squad not able to react because it's running, I might as well do something here. And I'm going to... So I'm going to hold the line.
Okay.
Fail.
You
Don't
are
live to fight another day.
holding that line, unfortunately.
I am.
And I need to get a... This is -2 because I'm into cover. 6 inch charge.
Yeah.
So I need to get an 8.
Oh, he loves it.
He's rocking and
loves it.
rolling. So he's in.
Yeah. And then what are you going to do about the Reavers? Anything?
Did I not put his wounds on after I double tapped him?
I can't remember if you rolled it.
In the spirit of fairness, I'll roll it now. So he's taking 3 wounds from his Overwatch. No, what's the word?
He's
Reactor
overheated.
overload.
Yes.
There we go.
So, giving you the option, are you gonna gun me down on the Overwatch, or are you gonna charge in to finish me off?
Do you know what? I have to commit to the meme at this point, so I am going to charge you.
Right, I will hold the line.
Okay. So, that's a 10 inch charge. I am well in.
And I just about hold the line because there's a Praetor in the squad. Oh,
The line's been held.
it has. So, you pile in, and are you doing any charges over the other side of the battlefield, I suppose?
I think I may well have to over there, yes.
Okay. So,
Also, just for ease here, because obviously some of these models are getting a little bit cramped, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorganise how the wound dice are held, just so that we can actually see which model has taken which wounds. Okay?
yeah.
So that just makes it a bit easier so you can see the plan of the unit matches this.
Okay. Right. So, who is charging over here?
The Arlatax and Aquater Magisterium are going to charge that tactical squad.
Right.
So, do I make the charge? I do make the
You
charge.
do, surprisingly.
So, you need to take a leadership test.
I do. And I fail, so you sweep me. Oh, if you catch me, I suppose. 10, but I'm off the board and die.
Okay. Unlucky.
I think that was a foregone conclusion anyway. So,
Yeah.
where would you like to start?
We'll start with the Thanatar, because
Okay.
I think that will be an interesting melee.
Well, I'm forced to use cracks.
Yes, you are. So, I have got 3 attacks base,
Yeah.
I have 2 melee weapons, and I've charged you.
Yes, and you've actually got 2 Hammer of Wrath before we start that.
Correct. So, just for anybody watching along, Thanatars natively have 1, Panoptica does change this to 2. That's 1 wound.
Yeah, 1-3 up. He loves it.
Cool. And then 5 attacks. Your weapon skill here is 4,
4, yeah.
so I'm hitting you on 5s only.
So that's 2.
And then I'm wounding you here on 2s.
Yeah, you are. So 2, and each one of them is brutal 2, but it doesn't matter, I've only got 1 wound and 2 die.
Okay.
So I've got 3 crack grenades going back. I auto hit, crack grenades are strength 6, so I wound on 6s.
Correct.
Oh, wound!
Nice. 2 up save.
Oh,
I'm okay.
Gutted. So I lose combat by 2, so I'm leadership 6. I love it and pile in.
Absolutely ready for war.
Yeah, it saves me at least from a bit. Oh, I suppose they couldn't have intercepted. So it doesn't save me from anything, but I pile in. The Myrmidon combat.
Okay. So I've got 4 attacks per Myrmidon.
You are initiative 1 with your Myrmidon axes, I believe.
Yes. So I was going to say, I've got lots of attacks. Last. So you're going first.
Yeah, so I'm going to use... I need to save the squad. So normally it would be the smart move to use the Thunderhammer. But at this point I need to gamble to win to get back in the game. So I'm going to use the Paragon Blade.
Are you going to declare any challenges?
I'm not.
Okay. I would like to declare a challenge with my Secutor Lord.
My Apothecary will accept.
Does he have character?
He does.
Or Chosen Warrior?
He's Apothecary's characters.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. So the Apothecary goes in, and my Praetor will strike against the squad. So he goes 5 times. Oh, and only hits twice. He's not doing as well this time. 6s? No, just 1 wound.
Okay. So that's it. AP2, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So on a 5 up. Nope, I take a wound. So in the interest of sporting and fairness, I'm going to drop the dude who's already on 2 wounds down to 1.
Okay, cool. Next, I've got my Apothecary, who has got a Taj, which is the like the new Canosan weapon that rends on or breaches on a 4. So I've got 2 attacks in Apothecary. I hit on 4s, but not that.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
So,
and then I've got 2 fists next, so we strike simultaneous.
Cool. So just to resolve that challenge first then, the Secutor Lord has got 4 attacks base and is charged. So 5 attacks total.
Yeah.
That's 4 hits.
With hatred.
5 hits.
You wound on 3s because I'm Sons of Horus, whereas normally you wound on 2s at strength 6.
Yeah. It's strength 7 is this.
Oh, is it? So it doesn't change it at all? Wounds on 2s.
So that's strength 7 AP2. That's strength 6 AP2.
Right, so that's, what is that, 4 wounds. So 4 wounds just goes straight on my 5 up save. So 3 go through, so I'm killed with 2 extra, but they don't overspill.
Yep. Then the rest of the unit then gets to swing in as well, same time as your Power Fists, if you'd like to resolve them first.
You go first.
No problem.
I get vengeance afterwards.
So each Myrmidon is swinging 3 attacks plus 1 for charging.
I held, so you don't get the +1.
Okay, in that case, actually, one of those extra attacks there should be discarded.
Oh, let's just leave it.
Okay. So that's...
Right, so with hatred,
I'm going to reroll those now then. I'm just going to move
so
these
that's
out.
6 hits, yeah, up to now. With the hatred rerolls. Oh, sorry, reroll that one. You hit me on 5s. So he's 5. Yeah. So it's 9 total hits, and then you're wounding me on 2s.
Okay. Bouncy trays are really fighting us today.
So he's 8 total wounds. Now, because this is all simultaneous, I'll still get my feel no pain. So I'm going to roll these in 4s because I've got 4 wounds before my Praetor's 4 up save. So the feel no pains. Oh, I passed 2, so that's 1 dead. And then 4 more. Oh, 2 more because that's the sergeant. He passes 1. So he's got 1 wound left. He dies, and that puts 1 on my Praetor, who loves it. So that's a total of 7 wounds done.
Okay.
Now, my Power Fist striking back, I've got 3 for the Sergeant and 2 for the Duda.
I'm hitting on 3s. Oh, these mad. Hit 5 times. And a wound on 2s. So that's 4 wounds at AP2.
Okay, so I have to take these on my 5 movement. So, got to do these really 3 at a... In fact, we'll do these 1 at a time.
Oh, they're all the same save, aren't they? So just take them and allocate how you want.
So that's all failed. So that's going to be 1 dead, and then 1 more dead as well. So that's these 2 guys gone.
Right, and those are... So I've done 4 wounds there. So that negates a 3. And 1. How many did my Praetor do? Just 1?
Yes.
Yeah, the Praetor did 1, so I lose combat by 2. So I'm leadership 8.
You Praetor's not stubborn?
No.
Okay.
So 8 passes, and we fight on for another round.
Very well.
So this is us at the top of turn 3. And the Sons of Horus really need some help since I have a Praetor and 3 Tactical Marines. Luckily, what is left to come onto the board is about 800 points of Just Daring and a Cestus.
Which does frighten me.
Yeah. And there was another one. And a Veteran Assault Squad, which is like 400 points. So hopefully Deep Strike and Assault will do me some favours. So the Cestus comes in, and the Assault Squad comes in, and we will get back when those are placed ready to scatter. So my Assault Squad is actually going to go... I'm going to go here. Because I really need to do something about this side of the battlefield. I need to back my Praetor to wipe out those... I know it's unlikely, but I need to back him to take out those Myrmidons. Because really, otherwise I've lost this side of the battlefield. Now I could put points over there with like the Cestus and Assault Squad, but then I'd completely sacrifice the left-hand side of the battlefield. So really, my reserves have to come on and help out over this side. Now I don't want to be intercepted by the Castellax or the Thalax, so the only real place to put the Assault Squad, without them just being immediately intercepted and wiped out, is behind these Artilacs. And that's where they're going to have to go. So, what happens to them? Oh, they're off the board. And something happens. My Assault Squad, under the Panoptica rules, don't scatter off the table. And they are instead 1 inch away from the edge. Thanks, Ollie.
Do what we can.
So the rest of the squad reform the same plan as before, and hopefully can do something about these Artilacs this turn. Because otherwise, we might as well pack up, and I'm not yet ready to admit defeat. Can still do it. All I need is a string of 6s in the right place.
At the right time.
So along with that, my Cestus is going to come in, and it's going to go 18 inches, because that's its move value, to here. Right. That will then allow me to fire my Magnum Melter in support of the Assault Squad. And that is all my movement, actually, because everyone else is locked in combat. So do you want to do any interceptors as they come in?
Yep, this squad here, thanks to the Augury Scanner, is going to do an interceptor.
Okay, and that's into the Cestus, I imagine.
It is, yes.
Right.
So, 3 shots. Twin linked.
Ooh. So 1 hit. He's shooting at a flyer.
We'll take it.
Right, now, normally, under the Panoptica rules, I'd get a 5-up save to the front. So that then might make you ask, why didn't I point that towards the Castellax? Well, my Centerline mounted Magnum Melter, or Gravis Magnum Melter?
I think so, yeah.
Gravis Melter Array? Whatever it is, the melter thing on the front, I really need that at the Artilax this turn, so that's where it's going to have to go.
So I'm actually out of melter range here, so I'm not getting my 2d6. But I am just getting regular d6 against you. So
Okay.
let's see what happens.
4, 12.
I don't think that's enough to go past your side armour, is it?
Well, we'll check. So that being a 12, the armour value of the Cestus is 13 on the side.
Cool.
So it doesn't do anything. So that is then into my shooting phase. And the only thing I'm going to do is fire my Cestus at the Artilax. So I've got 3 shots that hit on 3s. So I've got one hit, but it's twin linked. So I get 2 hits. My first guess was right. Your toughness 6. So 2s, but luckily I'm a melter, so I get 2 wounds.
Perfect. So 5 ups.
Yes.
Nope, 2 wounds taken there.
2 wounds taken, and then there is missile pods on the centre line as well. So I've got 2 Havoc launchers. I'm going to put them on the Magisterium's head because that will get me 2 hits. So the first one hits, that was lucky with that big scatter, and the second one wasn't so lucky, well off. So that's 2, strength 5, that's 1 wound because your toughness 6, I believe?
Yep, that's right, yep.
Yeah.
So 3 up save. All good.
I loves it. And that is the Cestus's shooting phase done. So on to the assaults phase. The assault squad is going to go into your Artilax. The assault squad are going to assault the Artilax and they get in. They get 6 inch, which will get all of them with a Hammer of Wrath. If I can fit their bases in. Bop. And that is them all moved in. So I've got 7 Hammer of Wraths. And let's start there. So 7 Hammer of Wraths onto the Artilax. I wound on 6s. So that's 1 wound.
Okay. 3 up. Oh, maybe not. Try again. There we go.
Loves it. So then it's over into initiative 4 step. What initiative are you?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'll need to double check.
So we're both initiative 4.
So my Al attacks are running 3 attacks base each for a total of 6 attacks. However, one of the changes to the Al attacks clause that we gave them was to be +2 strength with AP2, shred, and they function like lightning claws. So 2 attacks extra per model.
Okay.
So I am weapon skill 4.
I'm 5 as a veteran assault squad.
So in that case, I'm only hitting you here on 5s. So at this point then, I need 2s to do some serious damage.
Yes.
And with shred,
Oh.
nope, definitely not.
So that's 3 dead. And I'll take the 3 from the back because you useless bastards didn't get in.
So there's then also the Arcuta Magisterium at initiative 4 as well.
Okay.
So the Arcuta has got, I think it's 2 attacks base with a Paragon Blade, and then also 2 attacks from a Machinator Array.
Is the Machinator Array at initiative 1?
It is, so that's coming later.
Yeah, just so that we know when the attacks
Would be
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
So the 2 attacks of the Paragon Blade, that is 1 hit.
Because your weapon skill...
5 here.
Right, so yeah, so 4's to hit, done 1.
And then...
3's probably?
So I would be strength 6 with the Paragon Blade.
2's then, so 1 dead. 1 wound. So I've got 2 wounds each.
Yep, so
I'm not scrub.
I'll pop you a marker on that. Anyone in particular?
Anywhere. So that's a total of 7 wounds done. So my attacks back, I've got a Taj, or Tabar. I can't remember which one. A Taj is a shield. I've got a Tabar.
Yes.
On my sergeant. So he's got 2 attacks base, charged. Oh, and he's got 2 attacks base and charged because he doesn't get a +1 for 2 close combat weapons because it's 2-handed. So he hits on 3s. So he hits 3 times. And then he is breaching 5 up. I can't. So I'm strength 5 with the Tabar. Yeah, not Taj. I'm strength 5 with the Tabar. So I'm wounded on 5s, and that will also be breaching. Nothing.
Unlucky.
Nothing. Cheers for coming. So
You did your best.
the rest of the attacks, and these will be including the dead guys, I'm hitting on 3s. So this is the first lot is 4, 8, 13. And then the second lot of a handful that leaves 4 dice left over, 5 dice left over, 6 dice left over, is 3. Only 2 misses. 6, 9, 12, 13. And the final lot is good again. Thanks. So that's 31 total hits out of 36. I'm wounding on 6s 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And then I'm going to re-roll because I've got shred on my chainswords. So the shred re-roll, nets me another 5. So what's that, 12 in total?
Yep.
Right. So 12 total wounds.
So in that case, I'll start taking my 12 armor saves I've got to take one at a time because one of my automata has 1 wound left.
Okay.
So 3 up.
Oh.
Nope, there's the automata gone.
Okay. How far does he explodes?
So we'll resolve that in a minute if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So I'll then start resolving the rest on the other automata. So that's 1 fail.
Oh,
All good.
we're just as lucky as each other.
So
Jesus.
he comes away from it having taken a single wound.
Yes. But
So
then the other one explodes all
3
over the
remaining.
place.
And how far does he pop? Like a tub of Pringles. 1 inch.
Oh, 1?
So that's just going to be 1 model, I think.
Yeah, just mine.
So does it even wound in? It does.
3 up. Oh, he's dead. And with that range, it takes out him because he can be the only casualty. So you have done a total, including the Splodes wounds, 9 total. Whereas I've only done 2.
So,
-7, I need a double 1.
not happening today.
And they're gone. Oh, so how far do you run? Because I only run 9. Oh, 10? 10?
The unit is indeed kaput.
Yes. Indeed. So let's get on to the Thanatar combat. So the Thanatar combat versus my tacticals. I've got 3 tacticals left. I'm going to use cracks, so you strike first.
Cool. So
Oh, not
3.
so you strike first.
Yeah, it's.
I'm forced to strike last.
Yes.
Right.
So 3 attacks plus 1 for having 2 melee weapons.
Yes.
And I'm weapon skill 3, so I'm hitting you on 5s, which
So
means
nothing.
absolutely no.
Excellent. So I wound you on 6s with my crack grenades that auto hit. Nothing.
So that just carries on then.
Yeah. And now, Praetor versus Myrmidons.
Okay.
Now, I could strike first with the Paragon Blade, but there's lots of wounds to do and lots of brutal needed. Now, I'm going to have to... If I go with the Paragon, I've not got enough attacks to actually just take out the unit. So no matter what, I'm going to be taking saves. I'm just going to hope I roll a load of 4-ups and go with the Thunderhammer.
Fair enough.
So, do you want to do yours first, and I'll go with the Retribution?
Yeah, go on then. I'll roll first. So your weapon skill is 6, I believe.
It is.
So I'm striking you on 5s. Okay, that's 4.
Yeah, and he's hatred every turn now? Is it
No, it's just first turn.
Right. So 4 hits, strength 7, so wounded me on 2s. 4. So my 4 4-ups, I pass 3 and take 1 wound.
Leaving you with 2 remaining.
Yeah, leave me with 2. Now, I've then got 5 attacks back with my Thunderhammer, or my Thunder Axe, I suppose. I hit you on 3s, because I'm higher weapon skill than you. I was an idiot and didn't mastercraft it, so I hit twice. I wound twice, so that's 4 brutal hits.
Okay, in that case then, I'm going to be rolling all these at the same time.
Yeah, so you
So-
can't go over 2 guys.
5 up. So that kills one of them outright.
Cool. So I win combat by 2, but you're stubborn.
Correct, yeah.
And I really hope I get to try and sweep you, rather, because this is the first time I get to.
So leadership 9. Nope.
Oh, you love it. You love it. And that is over to the Mechanicum, turn 3. So Mech T3.
Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder if I should do something to reinforce my Myrmidons against that Praetor. Other than that, though, really, I need to do something about the Cestus and its juicy contents, because it's going to hurt if that lands on me. So I think the best course of action here probably is to try and multi-melter against that. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
First off, though, I think it's probably best to do some movement. So I'm going to move the Castellax over here.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get them in to start
Charge range. Charge range.
That's lost. Now they've lost that. Okay. I think probably moving the Domitar into something like charge range, if I do manage to destroy the flyer, is a sensible choice. The Thanatar is going to stay where it is. Yep. So let's move the Castellax into multi-melter range. So I'm going to be snapshotting against you anyway.
Yeah.
I think I'm within 12 there, just.
Yeah, you got 2.
Yeah, I can't do a lot more about that. And then these guys, I suppose, will just bounce up a little bit as well. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Right.
I
Shooting
can't.
phase.
Yeah, I can't shoot into combat, so those guys are a bit wasted. That Thanatar's stuck where he is. Again, I can't shoot into combat, and blast weapons can't hit flyers. So I guess I'm reliant on those multi-melters to really pull their weight here.
Okay. Right. So you're hitting on 6s. So you need to do the 2, I suppose, that are within 12.
So yeah, so just for reference here, the black dice is the one that's outside of 12.
Right. Oh!
Twin linked.
Oh,
you love to see
Jesus.
it. Maybe not. Okay, and the red dice again is the one that has the extra roll, so roll 2 red here. That's a pen.
Yeah, so it's a pen and a nothing. So I don't get any countermeasures because you didn't have Skyfire, and that's something that's in the Panoptica.
Yes.
Is Skyfire weapons Skyfire weapons fired against a flyer.
Flyers specifically, yeah.
Yeah.
Any flyer base that has a countermeasure save. We didn't want to bring back the days of Jink because that was its own problem, but giving flyers at least a little bit of survivability if they choose to zoom was something that we were interested in.
Right. So what does the thing do? Oh, explodes. Explodes.
Yikes. Okay, that
Right.
couldn't have been worse for you if I tried.
So that is 10 strength 10s, I believe it is.
So crash and burn is a little bit different, I believe.
Yeah. So we were just saying off camera, Ollie was nicely going to let me evade that because I said, why didn't I evade that? But I was actually waiting for the next thing to come in. So yeah, it serves me right for not just taking it against the first one, forcing the second one. So the crash and burn will scatter from the point of the marker
So
8 inches and not actually get anything because that will get to this point. And then you get 10 strength 10 AP2s onto the just staring.
okay.
And I couldn't ask for a time where I more need you to get 9 1s.
We missed one there, didn't we?
So that's 9 strength 10 AP2s.
So you got your 4 invuns there at least.
Yeah. So 4 up invuns. A lot of brave heroes of the Imperium die. 5 of them. So they're just staring her on the board, and that will result for the Castellax, if they want to charge, in an 8-inch charge.
Those guys are going to need to take a pinning test as well.
Oh yes, they are. They are. So the leadership 9 stubborn. They love it. They love it. They're proper just staring.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to fire my 3 Thalax at them as well.
Yeah. Now, as passengers, I can't react for the rest of the turn, so they're just going to take it.
Okay.
So that's 2 hits. The strength 7, rending 4 with shred.
Yep.
So that's a wound and a rend.
Yep.
So a wound and a rend, they love it.
They don't mind it. 6-inch move here, so I'm going to actually get them out of dodge because I really don't want those to be in range of any shenanigans. And the R attacks are going to shoot at you as well.
Yes.
So light auto cannons at you.
Yeah. So
4s.
Yep.
And then 6s to rend. So that's 3 wounds, 3 2-ups. Oh, 1 dies.
That was brutal. And the plasma cannon as well from the owl attacks.
Yes.
We'll need a small blast template.
So the small blast.
We'll centre it on the scaffer and we can
Yes.
hit all of them.
Cool. Not with that roll.
That's going 3 inches. So from there... No.
Cool.
And do I take a gets hot from that as well while I'm at it? I don't. And then the melter gun from the Magisterium hits and wounds.
So I've got 4 up. Ah, another one dies.
Squelch.
Do you know what? I'm going to take the back one. See if you charge me. That's good for me because I don't take Overwatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, so at that point, I'm basically now into... I'll fire the Thanatar at the Justarin as well.
Yes.
At this point, just because it now has a valid target. So we'll centre on this gaffer.
Yeah.
And I'm not double tapping here either.
Yeah, because you're on 1 wound.
Yeah, I don't really fancy blowing myself up.
No.
So that's a direct hit. So I need 3 dice here to roll.
So you win me on 2s. So a wound and a breach.
Yep.
A wound and a breach. A breach kills me.
Okay, you're out of range of my Mauler bolt cannon. And the Domitar are going to fire their missile launchers at you as well.
Yes. That'll just... 4s to hit.
No hits.
Roll it, reroll it.
Oh,
1
hit.
hit. Wounds on 2s. No.
So, with that then, it's probably worth looking at melee.
It is a leadership check for Magisterium. They love it. Yeah, and now melee.
Okay, so the owl attacks are going to be the first unit to try and charge you.
I will hold the line.
I expected just about as much.
I don't. I run away.
Ooh, okay. How far are you off?
I am going 9.
That puts me out of charge distance, I feel.
It also puts me an inch away from the board edge.
Okay. So that's basically wasted charge at that point. So we go into existing combats.
Yeah, so your Thanatar hits me first.
Well,
Oh,
it
there's
help-
2 hits. That would have been 4 hits. Damn
Yeah.
you, Bounty Train.
It's still
That is
4 hits.
4 hits. So 2s to wound.
Do you know what? Just to prove to people that my dice are legit, I'm going to swap to completely different dice here.
So it's 2. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not. He's still 4 wounds.
No, that's only 2 there because I've got 2 1s. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you'd not already rolled to wound, had you?
Then that's brutal too.
So the first double wounder dies. The second double wounder lives. So that's 2 crack grenades coming in with nothing. So I
Okay.
lose by 1. I'm leadership 7. I love it and fight on.
Cool.
The Sons of Horus don't know when they beat.
Now, unfortunately, I forgot to charge here, which is on me.
Oh no, go for it. I'll just beat you all.
6 inch, that's in. So I think he can get to about there, and so on.
Yes.
In a fancy conga line, like that.
Right. I am going to use my Thunderhammer again.
Understandable.
Right.
So just so you're aware, the Castellax is on 1 wound, so that might influence where you put your wounds.
Yeah, I'm going to be striking against the Myrmidons anyway because they've got the guaranteed AP2.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, do you want to go first with the Castellax?
Yep, so those gaffers have got Power Blade arrays, so they've got 2 attacks each, and they'd obviously pile in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll all strike because you're all being coherency.
Yep, so 2 attacks each, they've charged you, and then 2 attacks each extra from the Power Blade arrays.
Okay.
Try again. Okay, so I'm only hitting you here on 5s.
Oh,
In
yeah,
fact,
'cause
your
it's
weapon
double.
skill's 6, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm only hitting you on 6s. So as a result, that's 1 hit, which wounds with a breach.
Right, so I got a 4-up save versus that. I love it.
You don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
So you're now swinging your Thunderhammer?
I am. So I've got 5 attacks. These are all going to go into the Myrmidons. I hit 4 times, and I wound on 2s. Oh, 2 wounds. So it's just onto 1 Myrmidon again.
Okay. And that would be 2 wounds taken. Okay. The Myrmidons are now going to strike you.
Yeah. So you've got however many attacks, 7 attacks.
Yep.
Hitting on 5s. It's 4 hits. Then 2s. 3 wounds. So 3 4-up saves. Come on, lad. Oh, 2 wounds and he goes down. But I do have my Warlord trait, which means I can get back up if I pass a leadership check. Which I just about do. And I come back on D3 wounds.
Cool.
1. Oh, rot row.
Okay.
That's not great.
So does that happen at the end of that initiative step? Because if so, I don't get the rest of my attacks.
I will look. So the Praetor just remains in play rather than being removed until the end of the turn. So the Magos Dominus will strike, and you've got... Oh, you can't it. So I don't get it wrong.
2 attacks base, I've charged you, and I've got 2 combat weapons. And then I've also got a Machinator array, which I'm going to pump everything through.
Okay, so if you roll them separately, because you get shred on the Machinator array.
So I can actually choose, thanks to the GW FAQ, to put everything through the Machinator array.
Oh, and you're going to do that?
Yes.
Ah, fair enough.
So, no hits. I'm hitting you on 6s here because of the difference in skill.
Right, so I have done 2 wounds. You have done 2 wounds. So we draw and stay there.
Yeah.
And that is the end of turn 3.
Whew.
Of which, I think I might call it there.
I think
Because I have
yeah.
2 usable tactical marines and the Praetor.
So that was a very, very good game.
So that was the Legio Panoptica game number 1. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, well, so I think there's a couple of points about that game. The first was that I liked a lot of the changes that had been implemented. The actual game, I don't think is a good representation of the changes that were made. Like, I'm going to release it because I tend to release everything, and this is for anyone still around. I release everything that we play just in the name of like honesty and playing what games. But yeah, the spikes in the rolls that I had were all in the wrong place.
If you could describe it, I think that the luck has just lent on me this game, and nowhere is that more present than in the poor rolls you've had there, where it's like, oh, I'll bring my reserves in. No. And then I've gone, okay, I'm going to roll some shots to hit you. Oh, look, 2 6s when I'm hitting on 6s. That kind of thing isn't representative of how most dice-based games go, let alone Heresy, which relies upon it entirely.
Yeah. Well, even when so the Assault Squad, when I got 31 hits and even 12 wounds, I was like, yes, you've got like a 3-up save. I'm bound to do at least 4 wounds. And then you're like, 2.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, so even when I was having a lot of luck, you were having at least average, if not
better than, yeah.
in that particular instance.
Yeah.
Like, I personally don't think anyone ever has particularly over the odds luck. I believe in like everything's pretty much flat. It's just where that 6s or 1s show themselves. Yeah. And it just happened this game that it be like that. And
it really do be like that sometimes, doesn't it?
Exactly.
But that said, I hope you had a good game.
I did, yeah.
And I hope that won't stop you trying out more of the Panoptica content.
No, definitely. Like, so we were going through, and we will go through on camera. We're going to do a sort of like rundown, not a grilling, but just like a conversation about Panoptica
absolutely.
And the rest. The extra units is something that I've always been interested in and will continue looking into. And the entire thing interests me a lot, which is why I wanted to get you on the channel.
Yeah, and I really do appreciate that. So, thank you for a great game.
Well, cheers for coming on. And if you guys liked the game, if you like seeing me getting curb stomped, don't forget to hit like, comment below what you liked, what you think about Legio Panoptica, and whether you want it on the channel more. And there is a Patreon link below where you can get yourself a bounty tray, dice, access to the Discord.
What's on
And yeah. Exactly. And we will catch you guys next time. In a bit.
Take care.
Chris, thank you for following the breadcrumbs. I knew you'd be the one to find them. Now, listen to my voice. My breathing is steady. I sound fully conscious. I'm not what you all think I am. If you look through our findings, you'll see that we'd found sites, out-of-the-way places to perform their depravities. We looked wherever there were reports of overindulgent murders, anything ritualistic. And we found lots of them. We realized we'd walked into their trap. They were tracking us.
Are you burdened with religion, Mr. Duffy? Do you know why he doesn't answer our prayers? He's scared, terrified, of waking something far older than him. He knows that by helping us, it would notice him. You see, your God is a coward. It answers me when I call. It listens. It tells me when it wakes, I will be rewarded for my devotion. And when it makes this world drown, I won't offer my hand to save any of you.